know Venus as the planet of love and beauty, but in our scriptures, Shukra is described very differently. There is a lesser known story. Shukra, the son of the great Bhrigu Rishi, approached Shiva with a single intention to learn the deepest secret in creation, the knowledge of bringing the dead back to life. He performed intense tapas, he meditated, he persevered, and Shiva, pleased with his devotion, granted him that knowledge, Mrityu Sanjeevani Vidya. That is Shukra. Not just the planet of beauty and love, but a force deeply connected to life itself. And the gemstone that carries this same energy is the diamond. Namaskara, I'm Archana Murthy, a professional astrologer and a Vastu consultant. On this channel, I share structured and authentic knowledge from our Vedic sciences in a way that helps you understand and apply it in your life. Today we are exploring one of the most important gemstones in Vedic astrology, diamond, known as Vajra in Sanskrit and Hira in Hindi. This is the gemstone of Shukra, the graha that governs beauty, art, relationships, comfort, and also the deeper life force within creation. Why does diamond matter? When worn correctly and only by the right person, diamond has the ability to channel the positive influence of Venus into your life. This can show up in very practical ways in your life: refinement in personality, improved relationships, financial growth, and a stronger sense of comfort and enjoyment in life. But there is an important caution here. An incorrectly selected or flawed diamond does not simply become ineffective. Classical texts clearly mention that it can produce negative results. That is why understanding the gemstone properly becomes essential. In the Vedic tradition, gemstones were never treated as ornaments alone. They were studied, classified, and used with precision. Texts like Ratna Samhita, Brihad Samhita describe gemstones as carriers of specific energies linked to grahas. And this understanding was not limited to India alone. Ancient civilizations such as Egypt, Greece, Persia, and Rome also recognized that certain stones carried unique properties. What stands out in the Indian tradition is the level of detail, types, qualities, defects, usage, and even rituals, all systematically documented. Before understanding diamond, we must first understand Shukra, because diamond represents Venus. Shukra is feminine in nature, associated with the water element, gentle, refined, and rajasic. It is linked to the Brahmin Varna and governs some of the most refined aspects of life: love and relationships, beauty and aesthetics, art, music, dance, and performance, comforts, luxuries, and material enjoyment. But Shukra also has a deeper dimension. It is connected to Mantra Shastra, medicine, and Tantra and alchemical processes. In a horoscope, Venus plays a crucial role. It is naturally connected to wealth, relationship, and marriage. The placement of Venus in your chart influences how you experience relationships, your sense of beauty and refinement, your connection to comfort and luxury, and your ability to enjoy life. A strong Venus can make a person graceful, attractive, artistic, and socially pleasant. An afflicted Venus may lead to relationship challenges, lack of refinement, financial instability, difficulty experiencing happiness. From a health perspective, Venus is associated with eyes, throat, cheeks and chin, kidneys, reproductive system. When afflicted, it may relate to conditions like eye disorders, reproductive issues, kidney-related concerns, anemia, or mucus-related imbalances. This is why in classical practice, strengthening Venus through appropriate means, including gemstones, is recommended. Now let us understand the diamond itself. The word Vajra means thunderbolt, the weapon of Indra, indicating its strength and significance. From a scientific perspective, diamond is pure carbon, but what makes it remarkable is this: the same element that exists as coal under extreme pressure transforms into the hardest known natural substance. Diamond ranks 10 on the Mohs scale of hardness. It can be colorless or slightly tinted, pink, yellow, blue, brown, or black. One of its most striking features is its interaction with light. It reflects and refracts light in such a way that it produces a subtle play of colors, often seen as bluish or reddish brilliance. This is what gives diamond its distinct luminosity. Historically, India was one of the primary sources. The Golconda region in Andhra Pradesh was especially renowned for high quality stones. Diamonds were also found along the Mahanadi or the Godavari regions. Globally, important sources include Brazil, South Africa, and Russia. This is one of the most fascinating aspects of classical Vedic astrology. Ancient texts don't just describe diamonds, they classify them into 8 distinct types, each associated with a deity and a specific appearance. Let me walk you through them briefly. Hansapati, clear white like milk or a swan's feather, associated with Brahma. Kamalapati, soft pinkish white like a lotus petal, associated with Sri Vishnu. Vajramel, yellow-white with a marigold-like tint. Shyam Vajra, slightly blue-toned, calm and deep, associated with Shiva. Now the remaining types like Vanaspati, greenish-white, like sea green aquamarine linked to divine realms. Shyam Putra, smoky grey, associated with Varuna, the deity of water. Telia, darker, slightly oily in appearance, associated with Yama. Sanloji, yellow-green with subtle red-brown undertones, bright and shimmering, associated with Dharmaraja. These classifications show how deeply our texts observed even subtle variation in gemstones, not just in color but in their nature and symbolism. A high-quality diamond is identified through specific features: high hardness, strong brilliance, clear transparency, subtle play of colors in light, natural luminosity, smooth texture, proper shape and structure, overall pleasant appearance. In Vedic gemology, these are not just visual qualities, they are directly linked to the effectiveness of the gemstone. These qualities aren't just aesthetics in Vedic tradition. The stone's quality directly relates to its astrological effectiveness. A flawed stone can bring negative results, which we'll explore in detail in part 2. In this part, you have understood the deeper nature of Shukra, the significance of diamond, its type and essential qualities. But an equally important aspect is still remaining. Not every diamond is suitable. In part 2, I will explain the specific flaws to avoid, the correct way to select and wear a diamond, and the traditional benefits described in classical texts. Because in gemstone selection, even a small mistake can change the result completely. If you found this useful, you may consider subscribing to this channel. Drop your questions in the comments. Dhanyavadaha.